What's up, podcast fans? It's your buddy Adam, the PhD, the previously heavy dude, and this is a very special episode of the Million Pound Mission podcast. Now, you're going to get to listen in as I do a one-on-one coaching session with one of my clients for my Transformation ReBoot program. We're going to dig deep into their top transformation danger zones and come up with actionable steps they can implement right away. And you need to listen in and you can implement those same steps to get better results for yourself. Now, be sure to hang out after the episode to learn how you can do a free 10-day trial inside of my Transformation ReBoot program. All right, let's dive into the coaching session. All right, Judy, welcome to your 15-minute hot seat. What would you like to focus on today, my friend?
Hi, Adam. Well, I've got a lot of things coming up in my life, and I really want to talk basically about mindset. I've got some challenges for sure coming up in the next week, next month, couple months. My mother was recently diagnosed with cancer, and so I will be traveling to where she lives 3 hours away, back and forth, working, juggling my work schedule, my schedule to be there with her to help to take care of her. And just kind of really feel like I'll be flying by the seat of my pants, and I'm trying to get myself prepared, grounded, kind of ready, because it's going to be an emotional thing as well as like a schedule juggling thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be super, like, we know it's going to be intense, with the travel, with just, caring for someone that you love in that capacity, like that. So, but I'm proud of you for thinking ahead and going, okay, I need to kind of get my ducks in a row heading into this. So that's good. You're putting yourself at an advantage. And I think as we head into it, we need to have like a mini game plan, or almost like a checklist of just the fundamental things that, obviously I'll encourage you to shift your mindset to, all right, this isn't going to be, let's see how much weight we can lose or how many workouts we can do. Like, this isn't going to be the time to push it. This is the time, like, we only have so much energy. So we have to divert some energy that would focus on like things like meal prep and exercise and stuff like that, to travel, to caring for your mom, to, just maybe some extra stuff that'll help you manage stress, like meditation, reading. So reinvest some of that time back into you as well in a different capacity. So that's the first mental shift is, okay, we're not going to go for the glory with our fitness this next period of time that this is going to happen, because we have to divert some time and mental effort to these other areas. So is that making sense so far?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. So then we have to go back to, all right, what are the fundamental things that we make sure that we don't slip the wrong direction? So like, what eating strategy is going to be the easiest for me to handle in this moment? Again, it's not a time to try something new. Like, if you've been kind of thinking about intermittent fasting or keto or whatever, like this isn't the time to experiment. This is the time to go to fundamentals that we know work, that we can do like with our eyes closed. It's the easiest to meal prep for. It keeps you full and satisfied. That's the meal plan that we want to use for the foreseeable future. With fitness, we want to make sure that, we have something going, but you like inside the course, you have access to all these body weight workouts and stuff like that. So easy to do while you travel, but I would set up some sort of a checklist or a routine, and I would start implementing that now. So maybe you dive in. I just put that new 28-day blitz course in your, it's 10 minutes per day, simple. You don't have to do 10 minutes every day, but I would initiate the habit of, okay, I do 4 of those workouts per week. And then I try to walk for a certain amount of time, or whatever you think is doable. But we want to be thinking, I can do this when I'm at home. I can do this when I'm caring for mom. It doesn't require a certain type of equipment or going to a gym or going to a certain class. It's adaptable. We want adaptable fitness during this time frame. Is that making sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And that is, I glanced at that resource in there, but I didn't really dive into it too much. So I will definitely check that out, because that'll be super easy to kind of keep myself going and focused. And that's the thing, like, when she first got the diagnosis and stuff, I kind of like totally went off like the deep end and, was emotional eating,
Yeah.
sort of all those old pattern things that you do. And I feel like I'm kind of getting myself back together, but, now it's the next phase. And I just feel ready to, kind of plug in again and
Yeah.
get some energy going. Cause, I know I can't take care of her until I take care of myself. And, I feel very like strongly about that. Like I have to take care of me
Yeah.
and what do I need to do to, not throw away my journey, but to keep myself having momentum and to also being able to be there for her,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. So I think so. We got, very doable food plan, adaptable fitness plan. I want you to look at like where you're going to be traveling to and map out like grocery stores and just like get those resources taken care of ahead of time. So, where you're going to go get groceries, where you can go if you travel. Kind of, I would almost have a home based plan and away plan of, okay, this is meal prep day, no matter where I'm at. So I go to this grocery store when I'm there. I go to this, my regular place when I'm here, and just kind of have those decisions made up ahead of time and figured out ahead of time. It's just like when I help people strategize for a vacation, you're going to have decision fatigue, and decision fatigue lowers our willpower, and all the stress of the situation is really going to lower your willpower. So we want to eliminate you walking into a day going, I got to make this decision and then that decision. And then you make no decisions and you go eat ice cream on the couch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we want to make those decisions ahead of time and just kind of get that. All you have to do is hit that automate button. And I don't know if you're a checklist person like I am or like a journal person, but I would just have those things in your daily journal or your daily spreadsheet or whatever you want to do. And just be like, I got to do this. I do my 10-minute workout. I go for a 20-minute walk. I stretch for 10 minutes. I drink this much water. I meal prep on this day. This is where I go if I'm here. This is where I go if I'm there. And just kind of check. Maybe you meditate, like whatever you need to do to reinvest in you. Bedtime schedule, making sure we're not screwing with our sleep as much as possible. That's going to be huge. Because again, the main currency I'm worried about with you right now is willpower. Like I said, because that will really plummet with the stress. So if the area I can help you with is just that decision fatigue factor, because the stress will be there. How we manage it, how we deal with it, having the support of our community. I would sign up for one of these every single month to make sure that you check in with me, just so I can kind of hit the reset button with you and say, okay, it probably won't go. It'll probably be harder than you expect, but you'll have more support if you plug into me, the community, lean on us, just feed off the energy. Like maybe one of your checklist things is just go inside the group and just scroll around and just kind of feel some of that energy. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to, comment or drop any wisdom, but maybe one of our little feeds it just inspires you. Okay, I can do that challenge, or I can comment on that. It'll just give you a little boost. There's this is something I want you to try too. In Gretchen Rubin's book, Better Than Before. Have you read any of her stuff?
No, I haven't.
Okay. I just listened to her book, Better Than Before. It's really, really good. She's got a concept in there called the treat jar. And it's not about actual like cookies or anything. So don't get too excited, Judy.
Right.
But it's the concept of willpower, replenishment. All right. So all of us have certain things that we like to do that kind of recharge our battery. And we want to try to fill our treat jar with healthy activities. It doesn't even have to be healthy, but just something that doesn't hurt. It's not like, oh, my treat is to go get donuts. That's not what we want to do. Things like, for me, I like to meditate. I like to read. I like to stretch. I like to watch TV for a little bit. I like to look at like the sports ESPN app. But like we're talking about like a little like 10-minute boost that you do something and you feel like your battery got leveled up a little bit. It's not stressful. It's kind of the opposite. Taking the dog for a walk. I like looking at my podcast stats. I like to give myself 30 minutes just to like freestyle and just be creative and think about whatever I want to do and plan out a new project or something. All that stuff is in my treat jar that replenishes my willpower, that replenishes my battery. So you have to think about like, what are the things that you like to do that just kind of give you a little bit of a boost that you can do for 10 to 30 minutes, that you can go to that treat jar when the stress is really hammering you, or you feel like your willpower is really low. You can dive into that a little bit and just kind of it's like in a video game when your battery meter goes up a little bit, you get those extra lives in The Legend of Zelda or whatever.
Right.
And that's a concept that I would encourage you to explore. Her book is really good. I would check it out. Maybe, audiobooks. If you got a 3-hour commute, audiobooks might be, podcasts, of course, but that might be, it's a really good audiobook that I would recommend to check out. You can knock that out in a couple of trips there and back. So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that sounds great.
yeah. And use that time. Like I would even use that 3-hour commute. Like that's time to invest in you. Like really use it to get your mind right, plug into brain food, try to de-stress as much as possible. Just get your mind right and almost use that as a buffer of, okay, I'm going from home to there. I need to show up for my mom. I need to, make sure that I'm mentally prepared for that. I just kind of go through the motions of what you want the next several days to look like. Just kind of an ideal situation. We know that it probably won't look like that. Like surprises will happen and good things and bad things will happen that are different than what you expect. But we have that kind of navigation line, that home base that you can be like, okay, I'm just kind of walking through what things may look like here. And then when you're coming back, you have to find a way to kind of de-stress from that. So maybe on the way back, you listen to a book or a podcast that's funny or something that just kind of this
Right.
ramps you up mentally. Because I don't want you coming back just like, oh man, this is terrible. And then you go to home base and it's just like you feel like you should be back there with your mom and stuff like that. So it's I would use that time as kind of a buffer to transition mentally.
Yeah.
And that hopefully will help. But just think about brain food time, your mobile library, but use that time effectively and efficiently to learn, to change your state, to focus in. I think that will help as well. And like I said, if we can kind of control all those small variables like that, it's going to help you just to be present where you need to be present, whether you're here or there. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, that's a great plan. I'm a big, listening to podcasts or audiobooks or whatever. So I think that'll be a great reference and absolutely, like just having the intention that this is what I'm going to do when I travel. And this is, I think that will be great. Yeah.
What would you say are like the fundamental things just to like, if we had to say like 3 things that you need to really focus in, because I can help, coach you through that and help you stay accountable to it. But like if we had to name 3 things or processes or whatever commitments that will ensure that you don't slip with your own health, like what would those 3 things like? So for example, it could be like, I always meal prep on this day, or I'm going to do this nutrition style, or I'm going to work out X amount of times, or I'm going to journal, blah, blah, blah. So things like that. Like what would the 3 like major things be for you?
Well, where I am right now, 3 things like with my fitness, I've been getting into like the mobility and just doing like little chunks because I really haven't had the time to commit to like full workouts. Those are rare. But I feel like if I can do my 10, 15, 20 minutes a day, I feel connected. So that's kind of important that I do have something that I can do on the go. That's simple, quick, easy. How can I not give myself 10 minutes? So that's super important just to be consistent with that, for sure. I would say another thing would probably be like meditation. I feel like that's really helped my mental health basically. But again, I just don't feel the consistency with that. That would be super important. And absolutely, if I can't meal prep, at least have a plan as to what I'm going to eat. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be at work and I can get that salad from the place next door. And that's a good option for me that day. If I can't prep, I can at least plan. So I think, meal planning at least is going to be big.
Okay, good. Now, like when you are over there helping out, do you feel like you'll be able to handle like a morning routine, like a consistent morning routine?
I do think so. I think when you were talking about it a little bit ago, the checklist and stuff, I think that actually would be super important because if I could just have a list and something that I could check off that I'm doing this every day and not have to think about it, or, if I could just look at this list and say, okay, let's do this. And that, and not really have to use my mind about it. I think that would be really, really beneficial.
Okay. So I use my journal for this. what I like to do is I go 10 minutes the night before to map out the next day. And I set up like, all right, here's what my hours. And I try to like fill up my entire journal schedule of, even if I'm like going to take a nap or work out, like I block that in there. So I know I just don't have to make any decisions. Like, oh, what's the next thing? Oh, I'm working out for the next hour. Cool. I do that. So you can do things like that, but also like once you get in the rhythm, I would figure out like when everyone else is waking up, what's a good amount of sleep for you, but I would try to wake up before all the action starts. Best like that first, whatever you can get for yourself. So what I would really love to have you do is the little mini checklist is, okay, I get up an hour before everybody else. That hour's for me because I need that. I have to fill my cup up so I can help everybody else. And I'm going to do a 10-minute follow along workout. I'm going to do it. So you get that 28-day blitz inside the course, boom, follow along, ready to go.
Okay.
Then I would do a 10-minute mobility session. You get the mobility boot camp, same thing. Boom. There's 20 minutes down. Next, however long, meditate. All right. So it transitions right into meditation. You do that before everyone else gets up so they're not bugging you, or you can do that first if you feel like you need to hit that first. But those would be 3 things that we could check on the checklist. So maybe it's a 10-minute meditation. I do 15 minutes. So that, let's say you do 15, that would be 35 minutes right there. And then I would the next check box of the 4 would be map out your meals for the day. That way you have a game plan for the day. And just knowing the rules of the game of here's what I'm going to try to eat, here's what I'm going to try to eat, and here's what I'm not going to eat. Those would be like the 3 questions to answer. So the check box is just your 10-minute fitness, your 10-minute mobility, your meditation, whatever time frame you want there, and then go through your nutrition game plan for the day. And I feel like if you can, that's probably 45 minutes max. You invest that in you. And I would do it at the start because once you get into your day, that schedule is going to eat it up.
Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah. And you don't have time for that. So, but that's going to like take your willpower from like 100% to maybe 125%. And that way, as if it gets knocked down a couple pegs, you're still really high throughout the day. And what you'll notice is that you're not trying to figure out what you're going to eat because you kind of already have that mental go-to, planted in your mind, that seed going, oh yeah, I'm going to hit salad at the treatment center because I know they have a salad bar there, or, there's this restaurant, by the hospital that we got to go to, or whatever it is, or some place close to where you're staying, and you'll have all that mapped out just at the beginning of the day. And I think that'll help a lot. Like you said, it's just kind of, if we launch the day correctly, the chances are the rest of the day will go a whole hell of a lot better than if we just kind of run smack dab into it and just run into stuff and try to figure out what to do at that point. So you feel like that's doable for you?
Absolutely. I think that is the perfect plan. I was really kind of, just like, how do I do this? Because I know a lot of it's going to be so much of what's going on in my journey this next few months is just going to be all about planning and, keeping my mindset like focused, not forgetting myself, so, so that's going to be huge. And, and that's a great start for me for sure.
Yeah. And do you journal at all, or do you have anything like that?
I don't, but I don't consistently. I have before.
You don't have to, but I would or maybe just write something somewhere, or like a sticky note in your car, or maybe this is something you think about as you're driving. Is, let's just say it's 45 minutes. First 45 minutes for me, like that statement, like create a statement like that of, I'm worth 45 minutes. I can take 45 minutes a day for me. And that first 45 is for me. And in that 45 minutes, you were doing those 4 things that will help you with every other part of your day. And the rest is just execution, and you'll get better and better at that. But really tell yourself, I am the person that I give myself 45 minutes in the morning because that's just who I am. And just keep telling yourself that over. And I know it's kind of weird, but just if all else goes to hell, I will do that first 45 minutes regardless. And just you can even use that as your streak, your habit tracker. And every time you give yourself that 45 minutes, whether it goes amazingly or it's just kind of you kind of halfway do it or whatever, but you give yourself that 45 minutes, make an X in that box and just string those X's together, and just don't deny yourself the pleasure of making that X in the workbook of that next day, and just create a chain. and just tell yourself, like, that's the person that I am, and that's the person that I need to be to show up to help my family, and you know, and also make sure that I don't slip. So that's important too, right? It's no good if you help your mom beat cancer and then you gain 50 pounds and get heart disease. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
that ain't good.
Absolutely.
That ain't good. Nobody wants that. You know, none of your family members would want that. So it's something that, you know, I feel like it's going to be hard, but I mean, it may be one of the hardest things you ever do, but you've got a lot of people to support you. And don't forget that, you know, not just your family members, but the people through our community and myself. Like, we've, you know, this is why we're here, is to help people with these sorts of situations that normally would send us backwards quite a bit. So use the resources and just tag in if you need help. All right.
All right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Cool. Well, anything else that you want to, you know, any final questions on that, or we feel pretty good about it?
I feel pretty good. I feel like that's a very, very doable plan. So yeah, definitely. I feel good.
All right. Because you're the person, you will invest 45 minutes for you. All right, Judy?
All right. Sounds great, Adam. Thanks.
All right. Hey, thanks for hanging out for a minute after the episode. I hope you got a ton of value out of that coaching session. Now, if you are ready to reclaim control over your health and be a part of an amazing community and support system, I want you to head on over to millionpoundmission.com and start your free 10-day trial inside of my Transformation ReBoot program. Now, as part of this program, you get to do monthly one-on-one strategy sessions with me, just like you heard here today. We also do weekly small group support sessions, monthly deep dive discussions, and the daily interaction and support you'll get inside of our community page is unlike anything you have ever experienced in your fitness journey. Now, I know that you're probably somebody that is willing to put in the effort to reach your transformation goals. And if you allow me to add some structure, accountability, and support around that effort, you'll be able to gain amazing momentum and feel unstoppable. So head on over to millionpoundmission.com and start your risk-free 10-day free trial of the Transformation ReBoot program. My friend, I will look forward to doing your welcome video chat session soon.